quality of life issue.
Lucky for Alexandria Ocasio Cortez, the news has been a little heavy over the past few days, enough to distract her from her own impending doom. AOC recently learned that her seat may be squeezed out due to the open border policies she supports. As the city reported, building on data and analysis by the Texas Tribune suggests Ocasio-Cortez's district could be particularly vulnerable to undercount because a little over a quarter of those living there are non-citizens. That's a higher percentage than any other congressional district in the state. A census undercount in Ocasio-Cortez's district and elsewhere in the state could lead to the elimination of congressional districts, potentially setting off politically charged redistricting battles. New York already is on track to lose up to 2 congressional seats during reapportionment due to population decline and slower rate of growth, according to a December report by Election Data Services. The citizenship question President Trump wanted added to the census was shot down by the Supreme Court. As a result, President Trump tasked the Department of Homeland Security to share government records from its databases to help the Census Bureau produce data about the U.S. citizenship status of every person living in the country. All U.S. states that don't accurately complete the 2020 census could, of course, face the loss of congressional seats and billions of federal dollars. The San Francisco Chronicle reports an analysis of the preliminary estimates released by the U.S. Census Bureau showed that California was one of 10 states likely to lose a congressional seat. Texas, which now has 36 representatives in the U.S. House, second behind California, is expected to gain at least 3 seats. Florida is on track to gain 2. The political impact of reapportionment extends beyond Congress to presidential elections. Each state's electoral college represents the sum of its House and Senate seats. But that still hasn't stopped the Democrats from handing our elections over to non-citizens.
A groundbreaking release from the Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. His office found nearly 95,000 people registered to vote, but not U.S. citizens.
In Maryland, already there are a number of smaller communities that already have elections where non-citizens can do the voting.
Kind of discriminatory to me. Well, I think you're not letting American homeless people vote, but you are letting illegal aliens vote?
On the steps of City Hall, a historic day. For the first time, non-citizen parents can register to vote for school board elections in San Francisco.
We know for sure now that non-citizens are voting. The question is how many and how big of an issue it is.
Do you think they actually cast ballots?
I mean, we think that's very likely that we've had non-citizens cast ballots. We had that in Tarrant County. We prosecuted somebody that had done that and they ended up in prison for 8 years.
I respect the law.
Rosa Ortega is the one who got 8 years, a green card holder who voted for Republicans but told a judge she didn't understand she could not cast a ballot.
This review found that 385 non-citizens were registered to vote in Ohio, and of those, 82 had cast at least one ballot in an election in Ohio.
Secretary of State's office says that it has identified now 95,000 people registered to vote with matching DPS records of non-citizens.
You know, I get the popular mythology among Democrats that there's no such thing as voter fraud. I would tell you there's not as much voter fraud as some Republicans think, but there's a lot more than Democrats think.
If AOC loses her district to her own United Nations brainwashing, it would occur as we get closer to the 2022 midterm elections. John Bound reporting.